All right, folks, I'm talking here to Erwan Colin. He's with Zebox. He has about the coolest job of anyone I've met. Erwan gets to go around the world and find innovative companies, sometimes startups, sometimes not startups, doing cool things, whether it's artificial intelligence or maybe supply chain, I don't know what. All kinds of different things. And then you introduce these organizations to corporate partners. You have all sorts of partners through Zebox, and you'll figure out who's doing what, where, who's innovating, and then you'll patch them into other corporations, other partners of Zebox, right?
That's a perfect pitch, Eric.
Yeah.
I couldn't say it better.
Well, that's pretty cool. So give me an example of some of the things that you've come across, and how do you find them? I mean, you just travel around, you're online all the time looking at people? Like, how do you source these interesting companies?
So to make a good sourcing, you need to listen to the problem statements from the industry. Once you are clear on what you have to source, then you can develop your own channels. So you're really precise on scouting, whether it's from AI, solution for transportation, for the maritime industry, for the supply chain, the logistics, etc. And then we have some partnerships everywhere in the world. We have 6 different Zebox in the world, in Singapore, in Arlington, Washington, DC, in the Caribbean, in Abidjan, in Ivory Coast, in France, in Manchester, UK. So we have this web, a World Wide Web, where we can get these wonderful startups, and then we partner with VCs as well, because we provide them some insight on the market, and they can tell us, okay, look at this startup, and this is how we make sure that we can source this startup, and we develop these different kind of channels, because we know exactly what we need from the business, from the market, because we are talking to industrial key players, mostly in the maritime, transportation, supply chain, and ports industry.
I see.
And energy related as well.
Well, and in supply chain, the fascinating thing is there are millions and millions of parts. And if you don't know what you're doing in a particular domain, you're going to have a very, very hard time. So that kind of insight, that kind of consultancy can go a very long way in helping your clients and your partners get what they want, because you either understand a space or you can zoom in and find the people who do understand that space, right?
Exactly, and that's why supply chain is very big, it's going to be endless. So that's why we focus our energy on some areas, like the inventory, the warehouse management, how we can make sure that the routing from one point to another is optimized. Do we deliver these goods in this port or in the other port? How do we manage the crew? How do we use the weather forecast to make sure our routing is optimized based on the wind, on the stream, the current, etc., etc.
Right.
So it's very complex. We can be good at all the overall supply chain mapping, but we are focused on some key areas, and by being specified in these key areas, we can be good at this.
Yeah. No, that's very, very interesting, and you're filling this huge gap, because when you think about someone inside of a corporation, they tend to get very absorbed with what they have to do every day, staying on top of their projects, doing things, and it's hard to go outside of that and go explore the entire world to find who's innovating where, and that's the gap that you fill. So you have teams that work all around the world understanding where innovations are occurring, and because you understand the mission statements of your partners and your clients, you know what needs to be plugged in where, and thus you expedite that whole process, right?
Exactly. So, because we have a large number of corporate partners, not only the CB and CGM, in that way we can scout startups, we can do a POC, a pilot, whatever, with these corporate partners in this specific area in the world. And if we see it's a success, it's very easy to send this startup with their success and to replicate that on maybe on another business scenario in France or in Singapore, whatever.
Right.
And so our corporate partners trust us because we come with a result or a possible result. And so in that way, we mitigate the risk and we accelerate the innovation and even the investment, because we are de-risking this, because we see that based on this success, this pilot, this project, it worked, it didn't work. So it's a way to accelerate innovation.
I love that. Accelerated innovation. Erwan Colin with Zebox. Very interesting stuff. Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Eric.
More coming soon, folks.